Welcome back, children. So coming to today's class, we'll be discussing about numericals related to electromagnetic waves. Okay, so look at the first question. First we'll start with questions related to displacement current and then questions related to properties of electromagnetic waves. So here the question is, a charge on the parallel plates of a capacitor is varying according to the relation. So you can see that charge is sinusoidally varying with time. And then the plates are very large and close together, neglecting the edge effect. That means we are neglecting the fringing effect of the capacitor, and we are asked to determine what is the displacement current. Okay, we know displacement current is because of the change in charge on the capacitor. So differentiate this relation. What is dq by dt? Since q is given as q naught sine 2 pi nu into t, dq by dt will give you the current. Q naught is constant. Differential of sine 2 pi nu t, we'll write it as cos 2 pi nu t into differential of omega t, I'll write it as 2 pi into a nu. So what is dq by dt called as displacement current? Displacement current would be q naught nu into 2 pi into cos 2 pi nu into t. So this equation will give me the displacement current. Okay, so this question is also similar to the previous question. Okay, there is a small metallic ball which is charged positively and negatively in a sinusoidal manner at a frequency of 10 to the power 6 cycles per second. So they have given you the frequency as 10 to the power 6 cycles per second. Maximum charge Q naught is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb. Again, they are asking you to determine the displacement current. So previously we already have an equation written in sinusoidal form. Now you have to frame the relation. Q is equal to Q naught 10 to the power minus 6 sine omega into t. Omega we can write 2 pi into 10 power 6 into t. Now differentiate the relation to get the displacement current. dq by dt, differential of sine 2 pi into 10 power 6 t is cos 2 pi into 10 to the power 6 t into 2 pi into 10 to the power 6, or id is equal to 10 power minus 6 into 10 power 6 will anyway get cancelled, 2 pi cos 2 pi 10 to the power 6 into t. So this gives you the expression for displacement current. Okay, now look at this question. This is your NCERT question. There is a capacitor which is made of circular plates of area, radius 12 centimeter, separated by 5 millimeter distance. Okay, the capacitor is being charged by an external source and they have already given you what is the charging current. It's 0.15 ampere. Now calculate the capacitance and rate of change of potential difference between the plates. Okay, let us start with the first bit now. Okay, this one is capacitance. We know capacitance is epsilon naught A divided by a D. Epsilon naught 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12. It is a circular plate, so area is pi r square, 12 into 10 power minus 2 whole square, divided by distance between the plates is 5 millimeter. So 5 into 10 to the power minus 3. Simplify this relation. 8.85 pi, I'll write 3.14, 12 into 12 is 144 into 10 to the power minus 12 minus 4 is minus 16 plus 3 whole divided by 5. Okay, so simplify further. 28.8 into 3.14 into 8.15 into 10 to the power minus 13 farad. So multiply this relation. Okay, after simplifying you will get the value approximately 80.1 picofarad. Okay, pico is 10 to the power minus 12. Okay, simplification part I am leaving it to you. Okay, find out the answer. It is a direct question, epsilon naught A by D. That apart from that, they are also asking you to find out the rate of change of potential difference between the plates. So if you remember, I told you many formulas for displacement current. One of the formula is displacement current I is equal to C into dV divided by a dt. Since we want dV by dt, what will dV by dt be equal to? Displacement current divided by capacitance. So displacement current is already given 0.15 ampere divided by charging current is given as 0.15 ampere divided with capacitance. What is the capacitance of the capacitor? 80.1 pico. I'll write 10 power minus 12. So simplify this relation. It's 1.875 into 10 to the power 9 volt per second. So this is all regarding the first bit. Now come to B bit. Obtain the displacement current. Okay, we know displacement current is always equal to conduction current. What should be the magnitude of displacement current? 0.15 ampere. Whatever is the charging current, the same will be the displacement current. Then C bit. Is Kirchhoff's first law valid at each plate of the capacitor? Yes, it is valid. Say if these are the two plates of the capacitor, it is still applicable. Till here we have displacement, conduction current. And between the plates of the capacitor we have displacement current. So it is continuous. When conduction current is there, there is no displacement current. When there is displacement current, we don't have conduction current. So is Kirchhoff law valid? Yes, it is valid if current, that means junction rule what we apply, includes both displacement current as well as conduction current. Okay, look at this question. There is a parallel plate capacitor with plate area given as capital A, and then separation is small d. It is charged by a constant current I. Consider a plane surface whose area is A by 2 between the plates. Okay, so let us suppose this is a parallel plate capacitor. Okay, connected to a battery and a switch. Okay, this plate area is capital A. So in between them, symmetrically, we are keeping another surface parallelly whose area is A by 2. So if the conduction current is capital I, then they're asking you to find out the displacement current through this particular area. Okay, we know displacement current is epsilon naught into d phi by a dt. So let us first calculate the flux passing through this smaller surface. Okay, we know flux is E dot A. Electric field is capital E, which is sigma by epsilon naught. Area of this smaller portion, I'll take it as A by 2, or phi E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught into A by 2. Bring this epsilon naught to the left hand side and differentiate this relation. D phi E by dt is equal to sigma, we can write it as Q by A into A by 2, because I have differentiated this relation d by dt of this whole term. A and A will anyway get cancelled. Epsilon naught into d phi by dt itself gives you displacement current. So displacement current is half of dq by dt. So this dq by dt, as per the question, is given as capital I. Implies what should be the displacement current? I divided by 2. Okay, look at this NCERT question. There is a parallel plate capacitor which is made up of circular plates, and radius of the plates is 6 centimeter, has a capacitance of 100 picofarad. So the first step, and they have given you the angular frequency and the RMS value of the applied voltage. So what is the RMS value of conduction current? Okay, we know how do we calculate the conduction current? V RMS, because we are finding the RMS value divided by reactance of capacitor XC. That is V RMS by 1 by omega C, which is V RMS into omega into C. Multiply all the values. V RMS is given 230, omega is 300, into capacitance is 100 picofarad, 100 into 10 to the power minus 12. So multiply and simplify this relation, you will get 6.9 micro ampere. So this is the conduction current, which is its RMS value. Then is conduction current equal to displacement current? Okay, first bit we already got the answer. Yes, conduction current is equal to displacement current. Then C bit. Determine the amplitude of magnetic field at a point which is 3 centimeter from the axis between the plates. So let us assume that this is the radius of the plate, two circular plates whose radius is 6 centimeter. Okay, I can consider this as the axis. They want you to calculate the magnetic field at this point P, which is at a distance of 3 centimeter. So I need to construct one Amperian loop. For that I need the current only in this region. Total current is 6.9 microampere, but this is RMS value. But since the question is to find out amplitude, amplitude represents the peak value. So what is the peak value of a conduction current? 6.9, because RMS value is 6.9. How to get the peak value? I naught is equal to root 2 times of I RMS. That is root 2 times of 6.9 microampere. But this is the current distributed throughout this circular region or a cylindrical region of radius 6 centimeter. We want current in the cylindrical region whose radius is 3 centimeter. So make use of current density to calculate the current. Total current by total area should be I dash divided by pi into R dash square. Okay, we know capital this R is 6 and R dash is 3, implies I dash, current which is passing through this cylindrical or through a circle of radius 3 centimeter. I dash is equal to I naught, which is root 2 into 6.9 into R dash square divided by R square. R dash is 3 by 6 whole square. So the current comes out to be root 2 into 6.9 into 1 by 2 whole square is 1 divided by 4 ampere. So we have got the current. And now let us find out the magnetic field. B dash is equal to mu naught I dash divided by 2 pi R. Okay, by using Ampere's law, R dash, making use of Ampere's law for an infinite long wire, mu naught I dash divided by 2 pi R dash. Okay, mu naught by 2 pi is 2 into 10 power minus 7. The value of I dash already I have given you. It is root 2 into 6.9 by 4 into 3 centimeter, 3 into 10 to the power minus 2. So I am leaving the calculation for you. Simplify, your answer should come out to be 1.63 into 10 to the power minus 11 Tesla. Okay, check the answer. So this should be your answer, because here we have current is in microamp. Okay, so into 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, this is in microamps. I took it as ampere. Multiply with 10 power minus 6, you will get the answer. So your final answer should be 1.63 into 10 to the power of minus 11 Tesla. So it's an electromagnetic wave traveling in x direction, has a frequency 2 into 10 power 14 hertz, and electric field is having an amplitude. Okay, we know the frequency is 2 into 10 power 14 hertz, and E naught is given as 27 volt per meter. So with this data, they are asking you to write the expression for magnetic field. Since the wave is traveling along x-axis, electric and magnetic field should oscillate in y and z directions. So first I will find out the magnitude of magnetic field. Okay, we know E naught by B naught is equal to C. So B naught can be written as E naught by C. C is speed of light. So 27 by 3 into 10 power 8, that is 9 into 10 to the power minus 8 Tesla. So how to write the equation for magnetic field? B naught sine kx minus omega t. So if you know the frequency, you can find omega. But I also need the propagation constant k. How to get the value of k? It is 2 pi by lambda. That is 2 pi by lambda. I can write c by nu. 2 pi. Frequency is given 2 into 10 to the power 14. Speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8. Simplify this relation, 4 pi by 3 into 10 to the power 6. That is k value. And now how to get the value of omega? It's 2 pi into nu. I'll keep it as 2 pi into 2 into 10 power 14 hertz, 14 radian per second now, 4 pi into 10 to the power 14 radian per second. So you know omega, you know the value of K and the magnetic field. So write the equation for B. B naught, 9 into 10 power minus 8 sine Kx, 4 pi by 3 into 10 to the power 6x minus omega into T. Omega value is 4 pi into 10 to the power 14 into small t. Okay, this gives you the equation representing magnetic field. X is the direction in which the wave is propagating. Okay, so here a red color LED, it emits light of 0.1 watt. So we are given power, energy by time as 0.1 watt. Okay, which is uniformly distributed around it. The amplitude of electric field of the light at a distance of 1 meter from the diode. Okay, so we need to find out its amplitude of electric field. So first let us find out what is the intensity. Okay, we know intensity is defined as energy radiated per unit area per unit time. So can I write energy by time as power divided by, since it's uniformly distributed in all directions, I will take the surface area of a sphere, which is 4 pi into r square. But we know intensity can also be written as, okay, we have studied this intensity in terms of energy density, total energy, as U into C should be equal to P by 4 pi r square. Okay, where here U dash L, right, it is energy density. So what is total energy density of an electromagnetic wave? Since they are asking you amplitude, I will write the equation in terms of E naught, not RMS value. So it is half epsilon naught E naught square into C should be power divided by 4 pi into r square. Since we need the value of E naught, what is E naught square equal to? P by 4 pi r square into 2 by epsilon naught into C. Cancel of this 2. Power is given 0.1 watt, pi 3.14. Distance is 1 square, radius, epsilon naught, 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12, and speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8. So simplify this relation. Okay, after cancelling it, you can write 1 by 8.85 into 10 power minus 12 as 1.1 into 10 to the power plus 12, plus 11. Then after simplification, the final equation comes out to be, the value comes out to be E square, or E naught is equal to, because it's E square, and writing the answer, simplify this mathematically, it comes out to be 2.5445 volt per meter. So here also there is a parallel plate capacitor which is being charged by a current of 2 into 10 power minus 7 ampere. When discharge of the capacitor takes place through a resistor, what is the rate of change of electric flux? So I hope you remember displacement current is epsilon naught into d phi by dt. Okay, this is nothing but rate of change of electric flux. So implies d phi by dt is id divided by epsilon naught. So calculate the rate of change of flux. Displacement current is 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 by 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12 will be a rate of change of electric flux. Okay, or you can write it 2 into 10 power minus 7 plus 12 by 8.85 is nothing but 0.11, which is d phi e divided by dt. 0.11 into 2, I will write it 0.22 into 10 to the power plus 5 is the rate of change of electric flux. So this gives you the rate of change of electric flux. Now coming to this question, electromagnetic wave is traveling in a medium which has a relative permeability and relative permittivity are given. The speed of electromagnetic wave in the medium is. So I hope you remember when we studied the properties of electromagnetic wave, refractive index, which is C by V, is under root mu r into epsilon r. Since we need to find out the value of V, what should V be equal to? C by under root mu r epsilon r. C is 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by square root of relative permeability is 1.3 into 2.14, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8. Okay, multiply this 2.14 into 1.3. Okay, move the decimal 3 places. Under root 2.78 or 3 into 10 to the power 8. So find out this approximate value of square root of 2.78. So nearly 1.67. That will come out to be 3 by 1.67. So I am simplifying this relation. You will get it as 1.8 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, now coming to this question, there is a pulse of light whose duration is 100 nanoseconds. So T is given as 100 nanosecond. It is absorbed completely by a small object initially at rest. Then power of impulse. Okay, we know power is energy by time, which is given as 30 milliwatt. And the speed of light is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Find the final momentum. Okay, we know momentum transferred by an electromagnetic radiation, m into v minus u, is E divided by C, where E represents energy. Since anyway initially the particle or it is at rest, object is at rest, m into v, final momentum, I'll write it as a vector, is E by C. Find out the value of E, it is power into time. 30 milli is the power, into time 100 nano, divided by C, 3 into 10 to the power 8. Simplify. Plus 3 and minus 3 gets cancelled. 10 power minus 9 by 10 power 8 is 10 to the power minus 17 kg meter per second. Okay, a radiation of energy capital E is falling on normally on a perfectly reflecting surface. What is a momentum transferred? See, I already told you if the surface is perfectly reflecting, then momentum transferred will be 2 times of E divided by C, where C represents the speed of light and E represents your energy. So it's given that about 5% of the power of a 100 watt light bulb is converted into visible radiation, and they're asking you what is the average intensity of the radiation at a distance of 1 meter from the bulb. Okay, so since only 5% of the power is converted into visible radiation, actual power which is converted into visible radiation is 5% of 100, which is nothing but 5 watt. And we know power is energy per time, but we need intensity. Okay, how to define intensity? Energy per unit area per unit time. That's nothing but P by area, that is 4 pi r square. So intensity should be, power is 5 watt because this is the actual power which is converted into radiation, by 4 pi into radius is 1 meter, so 1 square. So answer 5 by 4 pi. If you want to further simplify it, you can 5 by 4 into 3.14, which is 5 by 4, 4, 16, 12.56. Okay, so simplify this relation to get the intensity in watt per meter square.